keep it raw.
No, we'll keep it rolling, man. It's all good. And anyway, but so we're glad you're here. So we'll kick it off, and we'll just get into it. And we're gonna kind of guide it, but we want this to be your show.
Yeah.
This is about the Gower family. So anything and everything. We got a few questions that we'll kind of fire out to you, and then towards the end of this, we got a little this or that game for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you guys big Friends fans?
Do
you like
I
Friends?
am. He hates Friends.
Well, do you remember when Phoebe played that with Joey? And she's like, because she wanted him to get to decide what he wanted to do. So she did the flora fauna game. So that's kind of what it is.
I haven't seen all of the episodes, but I mean, he really refuses to watch them. He gets angry when I make him watch them.
You're like my brother, Ty. That my brother doesn't like it either.
Just like him, he watches 2.5 Men every night.
That's a funny show too, though. That was funny.
That's another thing. Like MASH. I grew up watching. My grandfather was in Korea, and I watched MASH that was in the 70s or whatever. Every episode, and I'll quote episode. I mean, I will quote it through, and she gets so mad at me. So
we finally got rid of cable when we moved to Texas, and we just do Roku now and Sling, which we don't get those channels anymore. So it's been glorious.
Great. So you guys don't get TV Land? You don't get the classics with the Brady Bunch and Happy Days and all the good old shows back in the day. Oh,
no.
Yeah.
That was good times.
Also, with the toddler, we watch a lot less adult TV.
Yeah, Bubble Guppies and Paw Patrol have
yes, sir.
led the TV
we remember those days.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, our kids are 10 now, going on 11. So we're into the Descendants. We're into the High School Musicals. We're into the older kid type stuff.
So there's actual human beings in the shows.
Yeah.
We kind of get a little bit more into it, but but for a while there, it was Paw Patrol, Bubble Guppies, and that's a cute show though. We like that one.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't mind them right now. Ask me again in 2 months.
Yeah.
All right.
That's good stuff. All right, guys.
Okay.
Well, here we go. Thanks for being here again, the Gower family. Ty and Natalie Gower. Appreciate you guys coming on.
Yes, thank you.
Appreciate you being a part of the Fryette Life, and just take us through. Just introduce us, Ty, a little bit to Natalie, your family, your son Grayson, and kind of just take us through. How did you guys meet?
We actually went to high school together, junior high and high school in Ada, Oklahoma, and I had moved from. I'm a coach's kid. And so moved to Ada in Oklahoma, and I'm a year older than her, so we knew each other in junior high, and then we kind of started dating a little bit, and we're kind of together for a year or two, whatever it was, kind of the whole, I played quarterback and she was the high school cheerleader. I mean, it was one of those movie, one of those Nicholas Spark books thing. But
love it.
That's awesome.
And so we dated in high school, and in her family's, both my mom and dad and her mom and dad, we've known each other. I mean, we were at all the ball games, all the functions, all the, if the school doors were open, both parents were at it. And so I knew each other for a while. We graduated with 150 people. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
Needless to say, we've met. And so that's kind of how we met. Like I said, I'm a year older than her. And so I went off to college, and obviously, she finished up her senior year, and we, kind of parted ways, and I played college ball, and she went to a Division II school, and she went to Oklahoma State University, and
let's go Cowboys.
That's right.
and so we went, we went a long time without really talking to each other, seeing each other. I mean, really, we and I'd go home for Thanksgiving or Christmas, and we might see each other at the convenience store. It was one of those deals that we kind of, like I said, I went to college, she stayed for senior year. We didn't really connect anymore. I mean, we really did. And so, you come home, like I said, you come home for the holidays in a small town like Oklahoma. You might see somebody, somebody you went to high school with, whatever. But we might have seen each other once every 3 years, and it was by accident. It wasn't planned. It was like, hey,
Wow.
late night Taco Bell run. How's it going? So that's kind of how we started, I guess, by knowing each other through junior high and high school in small town Ada, America. Anything to add to that?
No, I mean, we, like you said, we went our separate ways in college, and then just kind of reconnected. What was like 7 years later, and started dating long distance. He was in Tulsa, and I was in Oklahoma City, and dated for like a year and a half, and got engaged and married, and he moved down to Oklahoma City.
Love it. Okay, Ty, everybody want to know, how'd you propose? How'd you do it?
Well, how I did propose, she went to like I said, OSU, and if you cut her, she kind of bleeds orange and black a little bit. And when we're from in Oklahoma, 90% of the state's OU fans and 10% are OSU fans. So she's way minority, And so we go to Bedlam. It's at OSU, and it had snowed the night before. Freezing.
And we were going up to the game, and I'm pretty sure that the temperature gauge in the car like read 9 degrees.
She posted on Twitter, Instagram somewhere. It was 9 degrees when we left that morning.
Okay.
And I'd asked her parents, the week or two before. Obviously hand and marriage type of deal, and her dad said, how do you have it planned? I said, well, I got plan A and plan B. Plan A, I was coaching at Broken Arrow in Tulsa area, and we were still in the playoffs. I was like, okay, here's my plan. We're going to go state championship. We're going to win it. I'm going to propose to her, because the championship game is going to be at OSU.
Yes, perfect. Yes.
And so, and like we were dating, and I'd already, I bought the ring, like I was doing this. Here we go. Well, as fate would have it, we get beat in the semifinals. So plan A is gone.
Okay.
Plan B was I'm going to, propose to her in the kind of student circle, student square on campus in Stillwater.
Okay.
And it was, there's pictures of us, and we are bundled up to the max. I mean, and so I'm driving, we're driving up to go to the game, and OSU, I got free coach tickets. I mean, 20 rows up, 50-yard line. I mean, it was like,
Yes.
But I wasn't going up. I was going up there to watch a game and then propose type of deal. So, we're walking up to camp, get out of the car, get the 47 blankets, walk to campus, and I kind of stop her, and
Was it just you two, or were you with the group?
No, it was just us two, but he had asked my family to come up and hide in the bushes or around campus and document it all.
Yeah, and so I had the candid shots, and her sister and mom and dad were all up there, and so that morning, Saturday morning, I dropped to one knee at 10 a.m. in the morning, and proposed, and
awesome.
Obviously she, luckily she said yes. People talk about making that like 3rd and 5 call, like that 3rd and 5, like, like nervous, your heart's about to be out of your chest type of deal.
Yep.
This was different.
This could go one of many ways.
Yeah.
This was a different kind of deal. And so, anyway, that's kind of how, how I proposed and how she said yes. And we got married 6-7 months later.
And college game day was there, and Kirk Herbstreit was there. Say all that good stuff.
OSU, they're both ranked in the top 20, top 25. It was a good year for both of them. I don't know if the game day was there, but kind of the story before all that, the in-between parts is kind of, I say a good story. To me, I graduated college, got done playing, and I went to go be a GA at Henderson State University. If you know where that is, that's in Arkadelphia, Arkansas. If you know where that is, that's in the middle of absolute nowhere, Arkansas. and I was 22, 23 years old. And, again, before we got together, this was before we kind of reconnected. And I was living in the office, literally. I mean, that's I kind of took the job. I graduated.
Yep.
I graduated and was looking for a job, and luckily the guy I played for at East Central, the head coach and he were best men at each other's weddings.
Okay.
They had a GA job open, and I was like, and, he called me and said, "Hey, would you do this?" And 3 days later, I was sitting in Arkadelphia. I mean, sight unseen.
Nice.
I'd taken it without knowing where Arkadelphia was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I talked on the phone. I Skyped. Back then I'd Skyped with Coach Maxfield, and showed up sight unseen with the cot and hangers and shorts and t-shirt and coach, and so I stayed in the office for 6 months and was stupid enough to save up enough money to get an apartment, that was the stupidest move of my life. And that was the whole deal. I was making $500 a month.
Wow.
But I didn't, and that's the deal. Coach Maxwell used to always kid me. He goes, "You don't have any bills, and you got free internet." And I did have a meal card, and I wore the cafeteria out. I mean, if it was open,
all you can eat, man. Got to take advantage of it.
Oh, dude,
give me 2 trays and let's go to work.
Well, that was the deal. I played college ball for 4 years. I was tired of working out and lifting and running, so it didn't go well, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did have a meal card, $500 a month, and I, obviously get my master's for free.
Nice.
Oh.
I saved up just enough money. I would say just enough money to get me an apartment for a year. And hindsight's 2020. I was on the fast track. I was taking summer school, and I was trying to get my master's and get done and get out.
Yeah. Now were you on a track to be a college coach at that time? Was your plan and dream to go college route?
So my goal and my plan, and it's funny how the good Lord works. If I was going to be the guy that chased it, I was going to be the guy that was going to live in the office, write to tell about it, and then go take a full-time job at some other D3, D2 school in the middle of nowhere and work the ranks. And, by the time I was 30, I was going to be a position coach at Arkansas, at Missouri, wherever it was, I didn't have a set school, but I did have that idea, that plan. And I know if you're listening to this, you're probably laughing, and I know she does all the time. But that was the plan.
Yeah.
And I left Arkadelphia, got my master's. Like I said, it was GA, it was not full time. And so here I am looking for a job. Coach Maxwell at the time, didn't have a full time job and wasn't able to create a spot. And so I go to Broken Arrow to coach secondary, and met some awesome dudes. I mean, half those dudes were in our wedding as groomsmen. So I mean, awesome. And our head coach, the guy who hired me, was a guy named Steve Spavital. And if you know anything about Steve Spavital, his sons, Jake, who currently now is the head coach at Texas State, and Zach, who's the DC at Texas State, there were some connections there with like Cliff Kingsbury, and Mike Leach and kind of that tree, that coaching tree. Yeah. And Coach Spav hired me. Here I am, and I interviewed for the job, and a day or two later, I was coming back to Oklahoma. And I was coming back home, from Tulsa to Ada, a little over 2 hours. I think my mom cried when I told her I was coming home. And, it was my first job. And so when I got my first paycheck, I thought I was a millionaire, still single, and kind of found me an apartment, kind of a rent house to live in. And, like I said, I'm a coach kid, teacher's kid. I've always had a shirt on my back, food in my stomach, roof over my head. I've never won for anything. I've been very lucky, very blessed. I have parents that have loved me and showed me right from wrong.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
And so, anyway, I don't mean to ramble, but
no, that's all right. I was going to ask you, when you got back to Broken Arrow, how did you and Natalie reconnect?
Yeah.
Well, so
Oklahoma.
Here's where this goes down. Is I'm in Broken Arrow, and one of the best jobs I've ever had. Working for one of the best staffs I've ever been on, and coaching secondary at Broken Arrow, and thought I knew something. I mean, that corner's going to OSU, and that dude's going. I mean, so you got that guy. So I thought I knew something about coaching. And so how did we meet?
I had gone back to Ada, I think for like a doctor's appointment or something. My parents and I had gone out for dinner that evening. I was living in Oklahoma City, and his parents they were at the same restaurant that we were at, and so just got to talking, small talk, catching up. Hadn't seen him in years, and when we left, I don't know why, but I did. I texted him and I was like, hey, just saw your parents. Hope you're doing well. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. And one thing led to another, and here we are.
Awesome.
She texted me.
She will always be the one to say,
Let's make sure the sound was up there. Hold on. Let me make sure the sound quality was good. That's great.
She, we started texting, and we texted for, before we saw each other, and Tulsa, Oklahoma City, it's 2 hours up the turnpike, and so it wasn't like, hey, football season, bye. I mean, so we texted and talked on the phone for
a
couple months, yeah. Okay. And it's 2012, 2012, and we get beat out of the playoffs, and you get beat out. I'm not really I kind of had my sulk period, kind of that pity party period for a little bit.
Know it well.
And so we're texting. I'm laying on the couch or whatever. We'd actually traveled to the Oklahoma City area, got beat that Friday night, and so we got back at 2 a.m. whatever it was, and so I'm not really excited about hanging out with anybody that day. And we're texting, and I'm laying on the couch in my own feelings, and I can remember this of she came up to see me, surprise. And of course I'm texting her, and she doesn't know anything about coaches, being a coach's wife.
I don't.
I got you.
So I'm texting her that this went wrong and that went wrong, and I'm so upset, and so lo and behold.
In the meantime, Natalie, you've gotten in the car and you're heading that way, and he doesn't know.
Yeah, we had briefly talked, I think, about well, do you want me to come up, make you feel better, brighten your day? And he's like, no, you don't have to do that. But I did it anyways.
Nice.
And so she shows up on my front door.
And I wasn't even sure if I was at the right house. I just texted him. I was like, why don't you walk outside?
Get some fresh air.
Get some fresh air.
So of course I look terrible. I'm still wearing my glasses. I'm just, because I'm calling her bluff. My plan was to take a picture and be like, there's no one out there. Yeah. And so sure enough, there she is. And
that was the first time we'd seen each other in a long time.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so,
and you guys were.
Yeah. You had to know at that point, man, this is a special girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I, and then I stayed at Broken Arrow for that one more year in 13, and we did the long distance, and she came up, and we'd come down to the Oklahoma City area and play, and she'd be there, or she'd come up to Broken Arrow to watch. I mean, so she was getting a dose of the traveling coach's girlfriend wife. Now she wasn't, obviously we were living together, obviously, but it was like
it was a dose, but it was a very tiny dose.
Yeah.
Just a little glimpse into what the life of a coach's wife is.
Yes.
And so
dating one and married to one are two different things.
and when you're dating 2 hours apart.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I could leave, after practice, be like, hey, I'm coming over. It was.
That's tough.
We were we were apart. And so, like I said, 13, my plan was to propose her on state championship night, that we were going to win, because everybody thinks when you get that far, hey, it's going to happen. And plan B happened. And
there you go.
And I moved down to the city, to the Oklahoma City area. And it's funny how it worked. I was kind of looking. I was kind of picky. I thought that I was ready to take my first coordinator job. I was 25, 26. And I'd had some opportunities, hey, come coach linebackers, or come coach, and they were good. They were fine opportunities, but I was kind of being picky and kind of waiting and kind of, and so I say a friend of mine, one of those coach connections.
Yep.
I'm looking around in March and April, and I don't really have a solidified job in Oklahoma City yet. In the Norman, Oklahoma City, Edmond area.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of going, we got the date set. I mean, it's July 12th, and that's what it's happening.
Yep.
I'm sitting there 3 months from, in April going, okay. And one day I get a call out of the blue to come be a DC, get my first DC job at a smaller school called Tuttle, Oklahoma, which is 20 minutes outside of Oklahoma City.
Okay.
And so I jump on it. I take it. I'm going to be my first coordinator job. Small school. I'm going to be the head track coach. I mean, it was, it was just all working out. It was all falling into place. We had found a rent house that obviously we were going to rent for the first year. And it was 10 minutes from her work. It was 20 minutes from my work. Things were just falling into place. It was
good,
awesome. And get married, do the honeymoon thing, get back, and it's like, and I was at a 4A high school, which in Oklahoma, 4A, you're going to have 400 kids, 500 kids, 9 through 12,
Yep.
And so, bless her heart, she had no idea what she just jumped into. Monday nights were our 9th grade and JV games. Tuesday night was our 7th and 8th grade games. Friday night, obviously, were varsity games.
Thursday night was something too.
Oh yeah, depending upon Tuesday or Thursday was our 8th and 7th and 8th grade game.
Okay.
So I was going 3 days
out of the 5 weekdays, and then obviously.
And you and the staff are coaching all of that.
Yeah, I was a 7th grade through varsity coach. And I'm our varsity defense coordinator, but I was implementing the defense from 7 through 12.
Yes.
And like I said, small town, small. I felt like I was home, because that's what I grew up in. Like I said, we grew up in a small town, and I was the head track coach in spring too, and so there was no rest for the weary.
Yeah.
I just want to ask really quick, Natalie, just before you move on, Ty, because I do want to hear just the story of being at this school, because that's a lot of kids that you're coaching and coaching up, and oh man. So what was your thoughts going into marrying him and thinking, I'm marrying this football coach, this high school football coach? What were your thoughts?
I honestly didn't really go in with any expectations. Because I didn't even know what to expect, honestly. I just kind of was along for the ride. And because the school was 20, 25 minutes away, I mean, I could just hop in the car and be there if he needed me to bring him a different polo because they changed what polo they're wearing to the 7th grade game or whatever. There were lots of learning curves, but it was I'd say similar size school to what we graduated with.
Yeah. Okay.
But as far as just the lifestyle, because the head coach did live in the town of the school. So I probably wasn't as involved as Ty probably would have liked me to be that first year. So
no, and I grew up, coach kid, and my mom was at everything. She was at all the pep rallies. And
that was another thing too. I'm not a school teacher, and I feel like a lot of coaches' wives, are. And when you are a school teacher, you get done at 3:30, and you can take the kids to go watch football practice, or your time is a lot more flexible than my time is. And so I just wasn't there all the time.
And that's where, selfishly, I'll be open, if she's got her 8 to 5 job, and she's a graphic design artist, and 8 to 5 is sometimes 7 to 6, because sorority girls and fraternities and people want their stuff done. They want their t-shirts, their graphics, their banners, and so but I will say this: it's been very, very rare that she's missed a game, home or away. Very rare. And so, and I'll be honest. I mean, I did a bad job preparing her because in my mind, my mom was at every pep rally, every if the school doors were open for a choir concert, a band, whatever it was, my mom was there. Growing up, my dad, during basketball season, he was the clock operator. That was part of the head football coaching duties.
Everybody we're all in. Yeah.
So, and that was the deal. Growing up, being a coach kid, the positive thing, everybody knew me. The negative thing, everybody knew me. I couldn't get away with anything.
Right.
And so, when we went to Tuttle, again, she didn't miss a game. Very rare did she miss a game. But I did a bad job of saying, hey, I'm not going to be home Monday night till 11 o'clock, and I'm going to leave at 6 a.m. in the morning, and so I did a bad job preparing her for that.
I will say, I think he got lucky in the sense that I'm a very, very independent person.
Yes.
I'm totally fine with my alone time. I will find something to do. And so I'm okay with, as much as I love you, I'm okay with you being gone a lot, especially when that's what I was used to when we dated, because we were long distance. It was like I was single during the week in a sense, because I would work late, and then I'd come home and I might go to the gym, and I might eat dinner at 8 o'clock, and then I might keep working. I just could do whatever I wanted on my timeline. And
I feel like a lot of coaches' wives have to be that way. I think I am to some degree. I like my me time, and I'm a bit independent myself. So I do understand before we had kids, that was kind of us, I would just, I wanted to and get some stuff done. And then it was like, he'd come in at 9:30. I was like, oh, okay.
Like, there'd be a handful of times he'll call me and he'll be like, hey, I'm coming home early. And I'm like, oh, okay, great.
That's it on my schedule.
Right.
You're not supposed to be home till 11.
Exactly.
Yeah. And that, that was the deal of, I was only there for 1 year, and honestly loved it. I mean, great admin, great people in the town. They'd won state championships before, and the town, you hear about this stuff and people kind of joke around. That town shut down on Friday night.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I mean, literally, the town shut down. There was nothing else. Yeah, there was nothing else to do except watch the football game on Friday night. And so it was a very cool place. I left there after a year. The best man in our wedding, he took a job in Oklahoma City. He took a head job in Oklahoma City and asked me to go with him. So of course, at the time, it was 2 miles from our house. This school the best man in our wedding, he was the DC at Broken Arrow, and we were going to reconnect, and we were going to set the world on fire, and so we were going to take on the big boys of Jinx, Broken Arrow, Wasso, Tulsa Union, Oklahoma football. Those are the guys that run the world in Oklahoma, So we were going to go set the world on fire, be in the west side of Oklahoma City, go beat those guys. Anyway, so he asked me the DC job, and of course I take it. I'm like, hey, it's 2 miles from home. I mean, it's a 6A school, and nothing against coaching junior high, but it was high school. We had I had no 7th, 8th, 9th responsibilities. It was high school, the biggest classification of Oklahoma, and so it was, again, with the best man in our wedding and a guy who was a very big influence on me, and so I took that job, and here we go. A year later, I left there to go be the defense coordinator at Norman North.
And while you took that job, we bought a house too.
Oh gosh.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, so it's a lot of transitions.
And we bought a fixer-upper.
Oh, yes.
So
Okay.
so all right, okay. So we bought this rent house. Okay.
Yeah.
If you know anything about Oklahoma, tornado out, right?
Yep.
So the rent house that we were renting for a year was a rebuild. It was a brand new
Okay.
build. I mean, brand new everything.
Due to the tornado.
Due to
Yeah.
the tornado.
Okay.
And so, and it was the perfect 1,600 square foot, it was perfect for a newlywed couple for a year. Okay. And so we get out of that and we buy a fixer upper. Okay. In a very nice, quiet neighborhood. It was, kind of a 90s, early 90s model neighborhood home. Right.
Nice. Yep.
And we bought it. It was foreclosed. So of course got a great deal on it type of thing. And she can see things, again, she's an artist. She can take a blank canvas and make it look beautiful. I can't. I see things, for what they are, like I can't see what could be. From an artistic house standpoint.
Right.
So I tell her all the time, there's a reason I teach and coach. I mean, don't ask me to the most I do is hammer and nail, so
yes.
and so we buy this fixer upper that we later figure out has some issues.
Oh no.
Has some problems. The yard is a wreck. But for again, I tell her this all the time. If you would have put me in a time machine and said, here's how it's going to look, I would have jumped at it. Jumped at it.
Yeah.
So in the transition of me going from Tuttle to Westmore, we buy a house.
Okay.
Yeah, we bought it in July, so right before.
Oh, okay.
Was this a year into marriage?
Oh man.
Was this about 2014 then? Right.
This is
you're married?
15.
Okay.
15.
Okay.
Okay.
15. And we've been married for a year. For a
1
year.
year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so our 1 year anniversary present was we bought a house to each other.
A fix.
One that he's not thrilled about.
And I'm not, when we look at, and there's a picture that I'm sitting on the fireplace and I look like this. I'm not real happy because I know football's about to start. I'm not your handyman. I'm just
not thrilled.
I'm really not thrilled about the first house I'm about to buy. and so, I mean, I said we painted every inch of that house. We took up the carpet, the carpet was taken up and we put carpet in the bedrooms, but we laid the snap-on wood flooring.
Yeah, everything was redone.
Oh,
literally
everything.
Everything's redone. And so, I mean, that's another novel in itself.
That's just a part of the story. We bought a house right before football season.
We bought a house right before.
How long were you in that house for?
Yeah.
We bought it in
5
15
years.
and we moved last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
And again, when we sold it, and I cried, all the emotions of you're leaving Oklahoma to go Texas. I mean, part of the tears were we put our heart and soul and love and arguments and fights and everything else into this house.
You built that thing literally from the ground up.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like it from foundation.
And we when we left it, I was in love with the house. I mean, in our back patio, I would post pictures on Twitter of our patio, and that's the biggest thing. I love our house we live in now. That's the biggest thing we're missing here is I wish we had a patio that was like the house in Oklahoma City. And so
that's besides the point.
It's point.
No, so you lived in there for 5, built it up, and now introduce us to Princeton.
Yeah.
Well, so I take the job at Norman North.
Yep.
Okay.
And in 2016, go to state finals in 6A high school classification. Go 12-1. Have just an awesome year. Just a great year. And go to Norman North anyway. So we find out, we get pregnant in the spring of
2018.
Of 2018.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to be our grandbaby. Obviously, you don't know, male or female yet. It's going to be first grandbaby on both sides.
Aww.
Both sides. Okay.
But yeah. So we find out in spring that we're pregnant. And Grayson, our son, he's currently at this moment, he's 15 months old.
Mm-hmm.
He's born in February. And so, I get a call. I get a call in April from Princeton, Texas.
Mm.
And a guy that I knew, and the head coach, kind of one of those mutual. I didn't know the head coach didn't know me, but one of those mutual, here we go, coaching network world thing.
Yes.
We get a hold of each other. He says, "Hey, can you come down and would you be interested in it?" A part of me is like, I just had a 2 month. I mean, our son's 2 months old. I mean, we've got a good life here.
Yeah, the house is where you want it now. You got your house where you want it.
Yeah, and
my sister lives like 10 minutes away. Our parents are an hour and 15 minutes away. Like,
wow.
All of our friends and family are close, and so life is good.
Life is good.
Yeah.
And I get a call from Princeton, Texas in April. And again, Grace is 2 months old at the time. So I go down there, scope it out. And I had to Google up where Princeton, Texas was.
Yeah.
So I'm on the phone, I'm doing my recon. I'm getting my information, what about this place? What can you tell me? So everything that, my connections told me is like, dude, yes, it's growing, it's bursting at the seams.
Mm-hmm.
You got to go look at this.
But really quick, so what's your thoughts, Natalie, when he initially gets this phone call and he's telling you, "Hey, I got a call from a coach in Princeton, Texas." What's your thought?
Well, when we first got married, rewinding a little bit back to him being at a D2 school and wanting to chase the college dream, I kind of cut that cord when we got married. I was like, "You're not going to be coaching college." We're staying in Oklahoma. Yeah, we're going to stay in Oklahoma City. I love my job. There's plenty of opportunities around here. But as our marriage grew, I just knew he wanted to get out of Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't have the best educational system anyways. He'd always wanted to get to Texas. Texas football is huge. And so I was always, it's not the right time. It's not the right time. But even though we had a 2-month-old, I was surprisingly a little more open to some opportunities, and as long within some parameters. Like, I don't want to be in a tiny town, like, because if we were moving, it was going to mean I'm working from home now. I'm still working for the same company, but I'm working remotely. And so if I'm going to be working from home, I'm going to need something to do in the town or the city. So don't go put me in a tiny town away from friends and family and all of that. So once he told me where Princeton was, I look it up on the map. We are familiar with the Dallas area, and I'm like, okay, this could work.
Nice.
So, I mean.
But before that, and again, this was before the phone call happened. So we go down to Jerry's World for my Christmas gift. I didn't want any gifts and win presents. I wanted to go down to Jerry's World and watch the Texas High School State Championships.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is, December 22nd or 23rd. I mean, it's like 3 days before Christmas.
Okay.
And so for $15 a day, okay, you can watch 3 state championship games in the state of Texas. And they go Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Awesome.
And so.
And I am 8 months pregnant doing it.
Oh, she gets wife of the year.
So she's 8 months pregnant.
Big Christmas gift that year.
Yeah. And so we go down to Arlington. If you've ever been to Jerry, it's like the 8th wonder of the world. I mean, so.
No, it's on the bucket list for sure. It's on the bucket.
Yeah, and there's there's 50,000 people at a state championship Texas high school football game.
It was pretty
Wow.
And
I got a good glimpse of what Texas football was about when we did go.
I'm sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
when I was at Norman North, we would play Norman High, the other high school in Norman at OU, and so that was a really big deal. We played for state championship at Tulsa University. We were able to play at some big venues, and so taking her down there, 8 months pregnant, it was like again, fate kind of telling us, hey, you're about to come down here.
Okay.
And so again, Grayson's born in February. I get the call in April to come interview, come down.
Yep.
Literally everything, I think, thankfully, it all the cards fell in the right places. And we found a house really quickly. We sold our house really quickly. I mean, we joke about it. We closed on both our house in Oklahoma and our new house in Texas on the same day.
Wow.
Yeah, I remember that, Ty. That was a miracle in itself. The way you and just how that that's amazing.
Yeah.
When I'm interviewing, and I'm with the AD and I'm with obviously head football coach, and it just kind of you go through that interview. Obviously you're like 9 out of every 10 interviews you go, and you're like, man, I knocked it out of the park. It just felt good. It felt right.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be our next place.
Yes.
And sure enough, I get the job, and now it's like, oh my gosh, now we got to find a house, got to sell a house. We've got a 2-month-old. I've got to start spring ball. And that was the deal of spring ball was the following week.
Okay.
And so here we go. I'm trying to get installs. I'm trying to get huddle uploads. I probably wasn't the best husband for the 7, 10, 14 days, because I'm starting a new job with a new head coach with a guy who doesn't know me, and I don't know him, and
I'm at home with Grayson, and you're on the road to Dallas twice, maybe 3 times a week.
And that's where I was when spring ball started. I would go down on Monday morning at 4:30. I mean, I'd wake up 4:35 a.m., drive to Princeton, and stay the night Monday night with with our offensive coordinator, and then Tuesday. Luckily, I'd saved up enough sick days and personal days and all that other. And so Tuesday I would go to practice and I'd drive back. So when practice was over, I'd drive back, and depending on what week it was, I would go back to Norman Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Or I would go Wednesday, Thursday, and then drive down Friday morning or whatever it was. And
How long of a drive was that, just for you?
3 hours.
3 hours.
Okay.
And so there were a lot of thoughts and podcasts and stuff that I was listening to, and here, I said, hey, we're doing it. We're doing this, and she said yes, and I'm thinking, no, we're doing the right thing. Am I going to get the cold feet? And the more I was here, it just felt right. And I know a guy who takes a chance on you, and that's our head coach. He could have. We're in DFW. No telling how many resumes or emails he got, contacts he got, and I don't know if I was the first, second, third, or 14th choice. It doesn't matter to me. It just felt right. It felt good, and that's the deal. I told you, Chris. We got a Wingstop in town. Okay, and so
let's
that's
go.
Like the big, that's like the
let's
big
go.
Princeton. In 2000, we're going on our 3rd year in 5A. Princeton in 2012, 2014 was a 3A high school. So people are just busting at the seams. Houses are going up, and but we can get to McKinney in 5 minutes. We can get to our favorite restaurant in 15, 20.
Nice.
Yeah, and so we get to downtown Dallas, the farmers market in Dallas, bucket list by the way, 45 minutes.
Okay.
And that's another thing is both our parents, still in AW, you can get there a little over 2 hours.
Okay.
So it wasn't
It's
like
not bad.
Yeah,
it's not
like we were flying the coop and we're never going to see y'all anymore.
Yeah.
And so
this little transition, well, not little, big transition, I should say, Ty, how did Natalie encourage you? Because just like you were expressing, there was kind of not insecurities, but you had like, is this the right move? We have our 2-year-old or 2-month-old son. Like, how did Natalie kind of help encourage you as you were going through this process and transitioning?
You marry your opposite, sometimes, and I'll be honest, I joke about it. I'm kind of the pessimistic optimist, she's the glass is not half full, it's full. And so she knew, again, that I wanted to kind of be the college chase. But she also knew that I had to change some things about the way I presented myself to because deep down in your gut's like, I should be coaching somewhere else. I started in college, and I should be on TV on Saturdays. And so I had that thought of I had to get over that. I'm here for a reason. I'm being her husband for a reason. I'm Grayson's dad for a reason. I'm in Oklahoma right now for a reason. So that was a big encouragement of, look at what you have here. You got a shirt on your back, a beautiful son, a beautiful marriage, a beautiful home. There are people who are living under a bridge who would trade places with you in a heartbeat. And so that was, go ahead. No.
I was saying, and not even, you say, people living under a bridge. I constantly would remind him, there's other coaches that would kill to be in your shoes. Like, you got to be grateful for the opportunities you have or had or whatever. There's always going to be someone that wants to be where you are.
That's been the biggest thing that she's encouraged me about is enjoy the moment. Because you talk about the plan. My plan was I was going to go be a Division I coach at 30 years old.
Yeah.
And that went by the wayside real fast. And I know if you're listening to this, you're probably laughing at me, and that's okay. She laughs at me too. But the big deal that she, like she said, she always talks about is somebody wants your job. There's somebody out there, your opponent, that's the linebacker coach at whatever, that he wants to be the DC at Princeton, Texas. And I do. And here's the deal, there's a head coach job for me somewhere. And that was the deal. I had this plan. Well, at 30, I'm going to be doing this. At 35, I'm going to be doing this. And that's the biggest deal of I'm living for today and not for tomorrow.
I love that.
It has zero to do with me. It has zero to do with me. It is 100% on her about changing my perspective. And hey, again, she's got to bring me off the roof sometimes, okay? But the encouragement that I get from her is about be happy with where your feet are. Until you go with cliche, make the big time where you're at.
Yep.
Love that. Yep.
But it was one of the first books I read, Ty. It was Frosty Westering's book. The big time is where you're at.
Yeah.
And making the most of where you are at that time and not looking too far ahead, having goals and dreams, but you're where you're at for a reason, so make it count. That's all.
And that's where, I still have my goals and dreams. I want to be a head coach, but here's the deal. I see our head coach every day. My dad's an old high school coordinator, head coach too. Here's the deal. I'll see something come across, and our head coach is great because he always lets me in on the goods, the bads, the ups and downs, and he'll say, you want to be in this chair? I'm like, no, here, let me go in the defensive office right quick. Be right back. So, being happy with where you're at, with where your feet are. And that's been the biggest thing that she has projected to me in this move.
Yeah, that was the one thing that I think about moving here. I was like, I'm not going to pick up my entire life and my family and move to a completely different state and you not be happy. That's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And that's where, I've been on good staff, been on bad staff, and some days I smile and it's great, and some days, and everybody has a good and bad. I don't care whether in Oklahoma, California, Texas, it doesn't matter. But, I found myself kind of in a rut of coaching, of a guy that who was a GA on an opponent when I was at Henderson. He was an opponent GA, and we would text and go back and forth. And he's a Division I coach because he's made the ladder, and I'm not going to drop his name, but he's not married. He no kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I'd call him and kind of poke fun at him, So what are you doing? He goes, "Oh, just on the road for the 12th day in a row recruiting."
Man, oh man.
And the guys who do that, shout out to you. More power to you. That's not a knock at all, but I do know that I am so happy. And again, I've still got my goals and dreams. If I want to go, I'm not going to be in Prince, Texas forever. But I love Prince, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And number two is I'm not on the road 12 days in a row.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming home to her. I'm coming home to be a dad. And taking, and we'll get into this if you want, but taking our son to school employee daycare. That just, and no matter what day I have, good, bad, up, down, positive, negative, when I get him from daycare, if she can't get him, when I get him from daycare, we could have the worst practice ever and it don't matter.
Yeah.
Now I'm probably going to think about it when he goes to bed and, when it's 10 o'clock at night, I'm probably going to get upset again. But for that moment in time, I had to come home to a beautiful home, a beautiful wife, a beautiful kid. Again, I'm not on the road 12 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And you showed us a picture at the clinic, Ty, of the facilities and the daycare that was, you said, 100 feet from the football field, or
that's amazing.
Something. It was literally right off the field, a stadium, and you could check in anytime. Or
there was one day that we forgot to leave a pacifier with him at daycare, but there's always one in his car seat, and we just hopped in his car and took one right over. Was there in 2 minutes.
Yeah,
fantastic.
And
wonderful.
At Princeton, I'm going through the interview, and went back up. I saw got off the job, and he said, "All right, now here's all your benefits. Here's the stuff that we provide." And one of them, there's a multitude of them. One of them was school employee daycare. So our son Grayson goes to daycare on campus at Princeton, and it's from my office, it's 300 yards.
Okay. Texas, right?
And awesome. the stadium's right there, right next to his daycare. And so, depending upon what season or day is, I'll take him in the morning, she'll give me in the afternoon or whatever it is. And so that's awesome. So we didn't have to have daycare,
Wasn't another thing that we had to find when we moved down here, which was my fear.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm sure.
And one of them, so our head coach's sister is a realtor.
Oh, nice.
And so she worked the deal, and I mean, we got in this house. We live in Princeton, and so, but we're on the very, very west edge of Princeton, and I mean, we could throw a rock and hit the McKinney town line, So
really.
And so they give us a stipend. They give teachers stipend for living in town, having Princeton address. And they paid our closing costs, some of our closing costs. If you're living in town, give you a sign on, when you get hired, they give you a sign on bonus. Every year that you return, you get an additional bonus.
Wow.
And I'm our head track coach, and I'm a coach kid. I didn't get in this business to make money. Okay. I knew the drill.
Yeah. Kind of feel like that's.
If I wanted to coach college, that was one of the reasons, so I could help, mom and dad, right? But then I was like, you know what? High school's not a bad gig either. And so again, this profession is not about money, but the help we got financially moving from Oklahoma to Texas, it is very, very clutch, I guess you could say.
No, that's wonderful.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So
very good.
It's great, and our staff, and like I said, we're growing. I mean, we're a we are a very small 5A right now, but we're going to grow up tomorrow when you're going to go, who's this big 5A Princeton school? And like right now, currently we have 5 elementaries, 2 middle schools, and 1 high school. In 2025, 5 years from now, we're going to have 8 total elementaries, another middle school, and then we're building currently a 9th and 10th grade center because our high school is at capacity. So here's a tidbit for you. Our high school was built in 2008. It's at capacity. So let that sink in.
Wow.
And Chris, I'll show you our facilities, our indoor.
Beautiful.
And our practice field. So it's sports athletics is important here. And that's the deal. When the doors are open, when the school doors are open, our people support it. And like I said, I don't know how long I'll be at Princeton. Obviously you got to win. I mean, wherever you're at, don't get me wrong. But I love talking about our place, about our kids, about being married to her and living in Princeton.
Yeah.
And so.
Well, how have you guys handled this whole quarantine, this whole nationwide lockdown? How are you guys doing with that?
And football wise, what are your coaching staff doing to
What do your days look like now?
My days look a lot different because I'm used to a quiet household when I'm home working.
Amen, sister.
Yeah.
She's ready for football to start up again.
So am I. And the downside to school provided daycare is he does not go back to daycare until school goes back to school in August. So it might be a long summer. I know usually parents are ready for their kids to go back to school like in July.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be opposed to it next month.
Well, what is the good word right now in the state of Texas? Where are they as back out and all that?
The governor, he opened up, well, I guess what was let's see, what day was it? Yeah, last week, he, 25% capacity. So you could open up your restaurant, your salons, your whatever you wanted to, but somebody had to be out front saying 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and so next week we're going to be at 50% capacity.
Okay.
And then they're going to look at the data, how many COVID. So in a roundabout way, I don't know that answer.
Okay.
But we're, we're doing Zoom meetings with our kids, offense, defensive install stuff, and just, calling our kids and seeing how they're doing. And
he's on lots of these kind of calls on the daily.
I'm sure.
She kind of gets mad at me because I've met more people and network with more people from Twitter or just like, Coach Rice, and Coach Mo, putting on the clinic in January at Santiago,
Yes.
Just talking to dudes, from there or this connection or that connection or network or whatever it is. So I've been on a Zoom call with whether I'm talking to somebody or they're talking to me. And I think she's kind of she is tired of that, basically.
He has a very loud voice that carries.
Yes, he must be like a coaching thing.
It's a default. It's a default mechanism. I don't know.
Well, I tell Chris, I'm like, babe, you're home. You're not on the field. Like that, our neighbors are going to be thinking that. Because he's like,
and also there's a sleeping baby. Let's not wake him up.
But again, for me, and I know she loves her peace and quiet. I mean, again, she's very independent, and so her being the coach's wife. Hey, babe, there's a 7th grader who doesn't have a ride. I don't know, I'm good. I'm working on my graphic artwork. We're good. So see you at midnight or whatever. So, but it's also been very fun to watch Grayson grow up. And we've met. Everybody in the neighborhood knows Grayson because he's a kid in the red wagon that mom and dad are pulling him.
Yeah, we walked miles during this quarantine.
Oh, I'm sure.
Get your steps in.
It's been, and we bought him one of those little lights. Oh, it's like white, blue, and red. Those goals, those basketball goals. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
We bought him one of those, And so we played, horse or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Like we made up trick shots and we, just ways to stay sane.
Yeah.
Off the closet, hit the counter, over
Yes.
the room table, right in the hoop, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
There you go.
And so we've, and we've watched that Netflix series or we've, it's been a lot of fun. I know sometimes she's like, I really wish you'd get out of the house. And so like, I'll take him for a drive or whatever for 10, 15, 30 minutes just to.
He did take Grayson to the field house this morning for about
nice. Yeah.
3 hours, and it was glorious.
So, and I went to in our field, our offices are connected to the indoor, so we, I just turned him loose and said free for all, and our athletic secretary and our female AD, their mamas and grandmas too, so they were, well, they're going to sleep good tonight too. So, so anyway, that's the thing about this place. Again, you got to win. People expect you to win, but our admin, our coaches, this place is so special. And again, there are thousands of places that are just like ours. Don't get me wrong, but I get so fired up talking about our place. I really do. And we're 5 minutes from the office, and that's another thing about our place. And I share this, when I was at Norman North, our kids, moms and dad taught at OU, so we got like OU professors' kids, Bob Stoops, we coached his two boys. The neurosurgeon, the big time neurosurgeon in town, we coached his kid. The district attorney, we coached his kid. And so, the thing that's, when I was at Norman North, our kids didn't want for anything. We chartered everywhere. We didn't ride yellow dogs. We chartered everywhere. We had every, dinner or breakfast. We had food and the Gatorade shakes. We had all that. And so I get here, and how do I say that? And it's everywhere. It's not just here. It's everywhere, all from East Coast to West Coast. It is such a glorious, great, amazing feeling. Some of our kids don't have a father figure at home. Don't have that male figure in the house. And so our kids, we can't get them to go home. And these are the same kids that we've chewed their butt and we've got all up and down them, and they hang around the office, just because I don't know if we're doing a good job. It makes us feel like we are as a staff. Win, lose, or draw, doesn't matter what offense we're running, what defense we're running. It is so great to see our kids, not all of them, but some of them, that you take that kid home. You buy them McDonald's or whatever it is. It's not changed my perspective, because I saw kids that stayed with us when I was a kid. Stayed with my dad. And I could not figure out why in the world my dad has got up and down you all day, and you're staying on our couch. What? Yeah. And so our place, and we've got great kids, great families. We've got our riches, our poors. We like just everybody does, but it's different than Norman North. In the fact of feeding our kids, mentoring our kids. Where the kids at Norman North, they had a car and went home to dinner and iPod and whatever else it was. They had everything they need.
Yeah.
I think this position is the more gratifying position.
Yes.
It humbles you a lot more than when he was in Oklahoma. It just makes you feel like you're actually, not that you're never doing anything or making an impact in kids' lives, but more so now than probably ever in his coaching career.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thank you we can get.
Yeah.
It is good. It's satisfying, with mom. And that's the deal is, you walk into Walmart, and this doesn't happen all the time, but you walk into Walmart and you'll have a mom or whatever just say, thank you so much, coach. And
Awesome.
And so it's just again, it's a gratifying job. Again, we got to win. Like I said, you got to win.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you felt like you won because of your mentoring our kids and helping them through that season of life. So, and she has been very. That's the thing about that I've liked, that she's at every ball game, because she doesn't have a schedule. She's not a clock in, clock out. She's able to work from home from her same company.
That's great.
Wonderful.
And people see her.
I am around a lot more now than I probably have ever been.
Well, that's nice because you're in town. The school's there.
And even when he was at Norman North, it would take a solid 20 minutes to get there. So I'm definitely around a lot more, which is nice. And same for Grayson too. He gets to see his dad more often.
Well, it sounds like such a great town. Do you have, Natalie, any little routine or anything on game days that you and Grayson have together? Is there something that you do, or as a couple?
Not really. Can you think of any?
No, I will say this, okay? Again, I could wear a Nike shirt and shorts and be fine all day, every day, okay?
Yeah.
All right, and here's another thing. So when we got married, or before we got married, it was khaki, it was slacks, and it was a polo. Every day.
It was game day. Yep.
Monday, every day was game day. Okay.
No, yeah. I'm a walking billboard. She calls me a walking billboard.
Yeah.
Stick. I called him the spirit stick. He didn't know what that was. Spirit walking spirit.
Yeah, and so when we get new apparel in, whether it be from the athletic department, football, and I'm our track coach, so we're going to get apparel in for track.
You bet.
I'm going to get a new polo or a new shirt, something, Yes. And so she's really helped me out with the wardrobe aspect from it. And so to say that on game days, game nights, I can spot my wife from a mile away just because of she is,
Yeah, I'm not the typical wear a school t-shirt kind of wife. I also decided a long time ago, because he was at 1, 2, 3. He had been at 4 different schools from when we started dating until we moved here. I decided to just go neutral. I'm not buying school colors anymore.
Well, I understand that because Chris, well, now you're at Altaloma, but the prior 3 schools, they all had green of their color scheme. So we lucked out on that. So I always had green. The Kit girls always had green bows, so that worked. But
she's again, when I was a kid, I didn't wear like the name brand. I mean, I did, but I wore the stuff that the high school boys wore. I wore the newest. That's what I wore. And so for me, I think on our first day, I think I wore tennis shoes, to be honest. I really, I mean. And so, the wardrobe change has been drastic, and it's been for the better. I mean, it really has.
It even goes with Grayson too. I think sometimes deep down, Ty probably wishes Grayson would wear like some Nike shorts and a dry fit tee, but I always make him look cuter than that.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh.
Well, guys, listen. We're gonna wrap this thing out. I wanted to thank you so much for your time. I know it's late. It's what is it over in Texas?
It's 10:20. Hey, we're
10:20. You're good.
It's past somebody's bedtime, right?
Yeah.
I know.
I hope I don't start yawning at some point.
No, that's I just want to thank you guys again.
Yeah.
You guys are wonderful to come on here and spend some time with us, and literally complete strangers. But just want to thank you for your story. Thank you for sharing your Friday night life with us. But before we go, we'd like to play a little game with y'all. It's called the This or That game. And so Corrine is we got about 12?
Yeah, 12 questions, really
about
quick.
12.
You guys can answer.
Yeah, same time. Yeah. So we're just going to give you 2 choices.
Okay.
Those 2, what is your favorite?
Yeah.
And we're going to see how well you guys kind of, are on the same page there with this thing. Not the newlywed game. It's kind of our version
Yeah.
of the newlywed game. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys ready?
So in
All right.
Texas,
Here we go.
Cowboys or Texans?
Neither.
She's gonna say neither. And honestly,
You're like, no.
hey, neither for me because everybody is a Cowboys fan.
Oh, okay.
And so here's the deal. We'll have the TV on in the office, and when we're game playing on Sunday and they're getting beat, I will relish it. I love it. So honestly, neither.
Yeah.
Love it.
Neither.
Okay.
Got it.
All right. Here we
Good.
go.
Okay. In-N-Out or Chick-fil-A?
Oh. I'm gonna say on Sunday it's In-N-Out.
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Right?
It's open.
Good.
That's tough though. I love both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A.
I'm gonna go Chick-fil-A on it.
Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I know it's kind of a hard one. They're both really good.
They are.
Okay. So which would you guys prefer for vacate? Beach or lake?
Beach.
Beach.
Okay.
Me too.
Yep.
Okay. Before quarantine, date night in or date night out?
Out.
Yeah. Okay. Rain or shine?
Rain or shine?
Yeah. Do you like the rain
Shine.
or do you
Shine.
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 Okay.
And what did you say, Natalie?
I would say shine. I love a
Shine.
good like rainy day, just cuddle up, watch some movies, but I like the sunshine.
See, in
Nice.
California, a lot of us do like it because we hardly ever get any
Yeah.
rain. But
Yeah.
so shine.
Once in a while.
Okay, savory or sweet?
Sweet.
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 Sweet, yeah. Okay, Hulu or Netflix?
Netflix.
Netflix. Ooh, what are you guys watching right now?
Ozark.
We need some.
Currently Ozark, but when it starts back, we got Jack Ryan and Yellowstone.
Oh,
Yes.
Yellowstone. I haven't heard of that one.
Yellowstone is on Paramount. Jack Ryan's on Amazon Prime.
Oh,
Yes.
Prime. Yes.
Love Jack
We
Ryan.
Oh,
love.
that's right. Excuse me.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But what Ozark? I've heard of Ozark. You recommending Ozark?
Yeah, they just came out with season 3, which I had already seen season 1 and season 2, so we're starting over.
We're
so
starting over.
catch
And I
up.
like Jason Bateman. I like him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark. It's not your regular Jason Bateman.
No, right? Not the
It's-
sarcastic, witty, funny.
Yes.
That's what I've
I mean,
heard.
it's not what you would. It's out there.
It's crazy.
Oh,
Nice.
we're gonna have to check it out.
Okay.
Okay.
We're diving in. We're diving in. Here we go.
Okay, this is a multiple choice one.
Yeah, this has 4 of them now.
Yeah. Pop, rock, country, or rap?
Mm.
It's Oklahoma. Okay. All right. For me,
Yes.
okay. All right. So I'm gonna do this. One of our first dates, I took her to a red dirt, Oklahoma, Texas country, right? I don't mean like Eric Church, Lake Shelton. I like Oklahoma red dirt in this trashy, this.
Yes.
And that was one of our first dates.
Red Dirt Country.
It was red dirt country, and
Let's go. No.
I thought.
Like,
I thought I was like, this is it. This is we've been dating for, talking. Like, this was one of our first dates.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was smitten. I was like, this is it. Later, I come to find out she was just doing it to make me happy.
Yeah, I sucked it up for that one, and I just took one for the team.
So I'm going to say
Awesome.
country, but it's got to be like Oklahoma, Texas country. Now, I like Chris Stapleton. I like Eric Church. So
Okay.
Yeah, we like them too. Yeah.
I go back and forth between pop and country.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Who's your favorite country and pop?
Do love Chris Stapleton.
Mhm.
The fact that I probably can't even rattle off a name for pop says something. I listen to a lot of Christian music too.
Yeah.
I probably listen to more of that than pop.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
dogs.
Dogs. Yes. Early risers or sleeper inners?
Both. He sleeps in. I like to get up and work out before the house wakes up. So
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
I also like to sleep in when I can. We got lucky last week. Grayson slept till 9:15 in the morning.
Oh, you guys probably didn't know what to do with yourselves.
And we all slept until 9.
Oh, nice.
Outstanding.
What time does he typically wake up in the morning?
Between 7:30 and 8.
Okay.
That's not too
So
bad.
that's
good.
nice,
That's
though.
good.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
But an extra hour.
Besides tonight, he's like God's gift to Chuck. I mean, tonight he was on a tear for whatever reason, but he sleeps.
Yeah, he sleeps 12 hours a night.
Yeah, he doesn't wake up.
Wow. Good boy.
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's
See,
awesome.
that was the triplets. They slept really good at night. They only woke up when they were sick. So if they woke up in the middle of the night, I knew, I'm like, okay,
Knew something was wrong.
coming down with something.
Yeah.
But this was the kicker, is that they hardly ever took naps.
Right.
So my 3 all at once would probably stop taking naps, like probably right when they were like past a year old.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, bless you.
like when they went to bed, I just knew that they were out, praise God, but
Yeah.
they never.
That's how Grayson was today. He didn't take a nap. And so he did go to bed an hour early tonight. So.
Yeah.
Man.
He probably knew you guys had an interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sensed it.
Something was going on. We're gonna stay.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's a disturbance in the force. Okay, so coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Water.
Okay.
Oh, that's good. Okay, sporty or bookworm? I guess I already know Natalie's choice, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If it's a good book, I'll read it.
yeah.
Okay.
Sporty. Yeah. I'm not your. Something's got to grab my attention the first 2 pages for me to read.
Yeah.
Now, it's not like I don't. It's not that I don't dislike reading. I really do. I mean, but it's got to grab me immediately.
I read more personal development than just like
Okay.
recreational fun reading.
Yeah. And I think when we have kids, it's kind of hard. We don't have much time. So the time that we do have, we want to just rest.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got a running joke in my family. They always ask me, what book you on? I tell them, they said, you get past chapter 1. Because I'm like you, Ty. I'll read the first chapter and maybe keep going, maybe not.
Or if he sits down to read, then it's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the best books. Side note is Wild at Heart. If you.
Oh, I have not read that one.
It is unbelievable, and
Really?
I say older. It's however old, but and again, I've never been a big reader. Now, like for me, I love history stuff, and I like that, but I'm not one that I'm just going to be like, oh, that's a book, I'm going to start reading it. So I read Wild at Heart.
You probably read in a week.
Yeah.
Really?
And Geronimo, the Geronimo book, I was like 18 years old, whatever. I've read that I don't know how many times. Because again, it's got to grab you.
Yeah.
Like that. If it doesn't, I'm gonna put it down and never look at it again.
Now, Wild at Heart was about boys, right? About coming up, young men coming up, becoming men, that kind of deal, raising boys. Okay. Yep. Remember.
It is. I'm telling you. I'll say you won't put it down, but you're gonna and I've got it highlighted. Like there's stuff
I think I ended up reading it too.
And I had her read it too.
Yeah.
Nice. Just to get a better understanding of how he is.
We're gonna have to do part 2 of this, by the way.
We've learned a lot about each other in the past 6 years.
That's awesome.
Hey, we're open.
There we go. That's good.
All right. Last one.
Last one. Here we go.
Messy or tidy?
I'm tidy.
I've gotten better.
Go ahead.
I've gotten better.
Yeah, good.
I've gotten better.
We're
Okay.
not
There's
judging.
improvement. No
judging.
judge. I'm messy. Yeah.
I am by no means a neat freak at all. I will say what my apartment used, what it looked like before she would show up, Thursday night, because, I knew Thursday night it was devoted to, all right, we're cleaning it, and then I started to figure out I hate cleaning these plates, so I went and got paper plates.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And so
Perfect.
There's another story we can talk about.
That's awesome.
Love it.
But I think as we close, it's first off, thank you to you guys. This is awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
I think what you're doing is incredible.
It was our pleasure.
Yeah.
You know, we don't have all the answers. I know we've had our good days, our bad days, our wins, our losses, our good cries, our bad cries. You know, again, it is such a joy to be her husband, to be Grace's dad, and you know, find a place. Again, I don't know what tomorrow holds at Princeton or however long, but it's so great to find a place, to find a home, to find a place, a time in your life that's like, why did it take so long to get here? And not saying beforehand that it was, again, your marriage, you know, if anybody has a straight line marriage, I'd love to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't found him yet.
No.
Yeah.
But you know, I think that, and again, not overly religious by any means. Don't get me wrong here, but again, she's the one that got me going back to church. You know, I grew up in church all the time, and it was church from like the 1800s. Everybody open your hymnal to page 300, and we're going to sing. You know, and so she got me back going to church, and the influence of prayer has really helped our marriage. Again, we don't don the doors every Sunday. Don't get me wrong here. But I do believe that we're not here by chance.
Amen.
It took her, you know, and she's basically born and raised Oklahoma. I mean, she's been in Oklahoma since she was 6 months old, a year old. You know, I mean,
so there's a foundation there.
Yeah, the foundation that we have and our parents. You know, we talked about Florida earlier. Her parents and the connection that her family has is second to none. And I've got great mother-in-law, great father-in-law, great sister-in-law. Obviously, my mom and dad. Not that it's advice by any means. I'm not one to give marriage advice to anybody at all. But there is a time that, again, I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to be here, and I wanted to be there. And we've talked about, you know, I had a job opportunity in Arkansas, really good opportunity, and we didn't go, and I was not real happy about it. That's for another story. But my point is, there's a reason I didn't go. There's a reason we didn't go. And I'm very glad really, if you had told me that we'd be in this moment in life without the COVID, I would have taken a heartbeat. It's just the roads and the trails you take to get to that point. I think is what makes the journey fun, sad, up, down,
up and down.
We call it bliss and blisters.
Bliss and blisters. Yes.
It's the crazy football life. There's all the good times and bad times, but through the whole thing, you know, she's been with me 21 of the 25 years that I've been doing this, and you know, like you said, Ty, I don't think it was by chance. I don't think it was by luck. I have a faith that the good Lord brought her to me because I needed someone to be that support system at home.
Sure.
I was out, you know, pursuing my passion. And so happy Mother's Day, first of all.
Thank you. Same to you.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. And but we're two lucky men, Ty, and have our soulmates, our sweethearts, and our rock at home while we go and do our thing. And we wish you guys nothing but the best as you continue to go through this thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you
for
so
being
much.
on, guys. It was so nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you guys as well.
So nice to meet you guys. Thank you again. Chris, holler at me anytime.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, you guys need to come down to Princeton or the DFW area. We'll show you around.
Well, I want to do this Jerry's World.
Yeah.
That seems pretty awesome.
Go see the stadium.
Yeah.
I gotta go see.
It's unlike it. You're going to say 50,000 people at Texas high school football game. Yes, it is true. It's something. It's bucket list. I mean, it really is. So.
Yeah.
Crazy.
third week of December.
Yeah.
Get on down the road and
Yeah.
we'll get over there. So
It's good, man. Guys, we
All
are
right,
honored.
guys.
We're honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
thank you guys. And we'll keep in touch. And this thing, we're launching our podcast in June 18th. We're launching it. And then we're going to be
That's awesome.
kind of doing a couple episodes a month, but we're just going to kind of start the interviews now and roll them out little by little. But this is what it's all about. Just connecting on a much deeper level. Football is our platform, but our wives, our family, this is what we're all about, man. So we love this. And thank you for your time. And appreciate you guys.
God bless you guys. Thank y'all very much.
Thank
All
you.
right.
God
All
bless
right.
you guys.
Have a great night, guys.
Take care.
All right. Bye-bye.
Let you know when we're going to post your podcast so that way you know. And then just send us some pictures whenever you get a chance.
Yes.
I told them like 5 times to do it.
Oh, no, and that's okay. You have a few weeks, so don't even worry about
Plenty of time.
That's another thing. You marry your opposite, because here's the deal. You got to tell me once, twice, a couple times. I mean.
That's okay. I understand. That's fine. I do the same with him. But, and really, we just because we're going to post leading up to when we air your podcast, we're going to just post pictures of you guys, kind of letting everybody know. So that's why. So whenever you get
Alrighty.
So.
Sounds good.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
Awesome.
Have a good night.
All right. God bless you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.